Hello and welcome back to Thursday? Nah, this is Father Figure Friday with Johnny Tiger. Now that has a nice ring to it, Father Figure Friday. So that's what it is. Yeah, okay, I totally missed Toy Thursday yesterday. The day turned out to be a little bit more hectic than I thought it would be. So by the time I had time on my hand to do video, it was almost midnight anyway. So I thought, heck, just do it tomorrow because it's Father's Day, so we can squeeze in a Friday episode, and it will still work. The date is June 17th, 2022, and we are 2 days before Father's Day. Happy Father's Day in advance to all you fathers, daddies, sugar daddies, whatever out there. Um, for myself, because in Taiwan, our Father's Day is actually August 8th. So I'm not going to be speaking to my dad, wishing him Happy Father's Day yet, because this one is not his Father's Day. So today, as is usually the case, we are going to showcase an action figure that is relevant to what is special that is going on. So I'm going to show you guys our pick for Father of the Year. Who is this very mysterious, important character that can be our Father of the Year? Some of you are thinking, wait, that's just Batman. That's Batman. Pointy ear, cape, mysterious looking, serious body armor. That's Batman. Since when Batman the dad? Well, it's because this is not your generic Batman. This is, well, this is Batdaddy. Well, okay, that's not what he's called. He's still called the Batman. But you see, most of us know Batman from the main timeline of the DC Comics. The Batman we know, Bruce Wayne, the multi-millionaire martial artist and superhero, drive around in a Batmobile, and it's all about peace and justice and fighting crime. And when he was young, he watched his parents getting murdered in front of him, and that set him on a road to become a crime fighter, so other children wouldn't have to go through the same thing, and all that stuff. That is the Batman we know, but that is not this Batman. Taking Batdaddy out of the frame for a second, let me take you back to the origin of this very different Batman. Our story actually doesn't even start with Batman. This is from the DC Comics storyline called Flashpoint. So, going off of that name, we know that the story is actually about Flash. The Flash. Yes, that superhero, Flash. The guy that runs so fast that he can transcend time. He can travel between dimensions. He can time travel. That's how fast the Flash can run. He's the fastest superhero in the world, in at least in DC Universe. So, in the Flashpoint comic book, the Flash decided, oh well, I got this really cool superpower that allowed me to uh, beat time itself. I can travel back in time and correct all the wrongs that were done before. So the Flash decided to travel back in time to save his mother from a tragedy that she was going to suffer. Now, because I don't personally care for the Flash, I don't really know much about the Flash's background. I don't even have a Flash action figure, so I can't really tell you what was going on with his mom. Maybe she got killed when he was a child, something like that. Anyway, I mean, most superhero stories go run the same way. So the Flash decided to go back through time to save his mom. not knowing that such an action would have consequences. You see, one of the biggest things in time travel, at least in series around time travel, is you probably don't want to do it. Because if you go back in time and you change something, even though it's something really small, uh, it may cause ripples down the rest of the timeline. So things that's supposed to happen might not have happened because you went back in time. Things that shouldn't happen may happen. And in the comic book world, this is a very handy tool for writers and artists to say, hey, someone did a time travel. Great. Now we can create a whole new alternate universe, a whole new set. We can reuse all these characters in very wacky and different way. Because yeah, because the Flash screwed with the timeline. The Flash went back and time traveled. So now we can create this alternate universe where different characters go through different events and things turn out very differently. So the Flash went back in time and got essentially trapped in time. He created this alternate reality, not knowing that he was going to do that. But because he went back in time, this alternate reality happened. In this reality, there was a doctor whose name was Thomas Wayne. And yes, those of you that know your Batman stories know that in our universe, Thomas Wayne was Bruce Wayne's father, and Thomas Wayne and his wife Martha got killed by a mugger when Bruce was very little. That, as we mentioned in the beginning, that's what inspired Bruce Wayne to grow up and trained and became Batman in our universe. Well, in this alternate universe, the same mugging happened. However, things went a little bit off kilter. Rather than Thomas and Martha getting killed, young Bruce Wayne got killed by the mugger. In his grief and rage, Dr. Thomas Wayne decided, okay, that's it. I'm not going to be a doctor anymore. I'm going to go and learn martial art. I'm going to learn how to shoot people. I'm going to kill all the criminals in the world. Yeah, doesn't that sound familiar? Basically, Batman, Bad Dad, decided he's going to do Batman, but Punisher style. Because, as we all know, one of the things that is so frustrating and yet makes a lot of sense in our version of Batman is that Batman refuses to kill anybody. He'll beat them up. He'll beat them up really, really bad, but he never kills anybody. At least not willingly. There's been a few accidents here and there, but for the most part, that's been one of the constant things about Batman. He doesn't kill people. Well, Bat Dad, different. Uh, I imagine if you watch your young son getting killed by a mugger in front of you, yeah, your outlook on what is justice, what is right or wrong, may be a little bit different. So, Bad Dad, or okay, Batman from this alternate universe, uh, Thomas Wayne, this doctor, he went and learned martial art. He put all his money into making armors and gadgets and guns and bullets and poisons and chemical weapons so he could fight crime. Interesting little side note, although it's not really relevant to our figure of the day, is Martha Wayne, Thomas Wayne's wife, uh, in this alternate universe, went insane after her son got murdered by the mother. So while the dad became Batman and started killing criminals, the mom went crazy and, get this, she became the Joker. She became one of the worst criminals in the entire DC universe. So yeah, like things are really, really crazy in this alternate timeline. Like things are totally different from what we know. So anyway, now calling himself Batman, Dr. Thomas Wayne started killing off criminals, and he he bought a casino so he could fund his crime fighting through the money he made in this casino. One day, when he came back to his Bat Cave, he ran into a man who claimed to be a superhero called the Flash. Yeah, I mentioned the Flash got himself trapped in this alternate timeline. So the Flash tracked down Batman, thinking that it is still Bruce Wayne as the Batman that we know. However, he instead found Thomas Wayne. And the Flash was all confused. He's like, wait, Batman, hold on. Aren't you Bruce? Why are you calling yourself Thomas? Thomas Wayne. No, you're not supposed to be Thomas. Thomas Wayne's supposed to be dead. Don't you remember when you were little? Your dad, your mom got killed, and Thomas was. I don't know who you are, but that is not what happened. Okay, there was a mugging, but my son got killed. So now I'm going to kill criminals, and you broke into my bat cave. You're obviously a criminal, and I'm going to kill you. So, I mean, that's not how exactly the dialogue went down because, you know, I never actually read the comic book. So I'm just putting together all the things I found on my research and trying to streamline it for you guys. So that's how basically things, how their first meeting went down. And then the Flash went, whoa, hold on. Well, wait, what's going on here? Oh, okay, tell you what. I see what's going on. Look, I travel back through time, and obviously that did something weird to our universe, and now I'm trapped in this universe, this reality, which shouldn't happen. This thing never happened. So how how can I get back to my own world? And Thomas Wayne, by this time, kind of believed Flash is who he said he was. Said, well, why don't we work on restoring your super speed power first? Because the Flash, when he got trapped in this world, he lost his power. So Thomas Wayne, being a really smart guy, like I said, he was a doctor, and we all know that one of the things that make Batman so incredible is how smart Batman is. Well, his dad apparently is just as smart, if not more so. So Thomas Wayne said, okay, no sweat. I'm going to make this machine that will restore your power. Well, the first attempt didn't go so well. The first machine he made almost burned the Flash to a crisp. Didn't do anything. But yeah, oh, okay. I see what's wrong. I did some miscalculation. Let's try this again, shall we? And the Flash is like, ouch, please get this right the second time. Well, luckily, they got it right the second time. So after they restored the Flash's power, they went on a few like adventures together. There were things that needed to be done. There were bad guys that were messing around at that time and needed to be stopped. There was a war going on between Aquaman and Wonder Woman that they had to go stop. A lot of things were going on, but those really have no bearing on our story. So I'm just going to skip past a lot of that and tell you, in the end, Thomas Wayne, this alternate Batman, the one that we are calling Batdaddy, Batdad, uh, was instrumental in helping the Flash going back and fixing the world. He did that knowing that if the Flash fixed the world, his own timeline would disappear because this is a timeline that's never supposed to happen. So he knew that. He knew that this would mean everyone he knew would disappear. himself would never have existed, but he did it anyway because it was the right thing to do. Before sending the Flash on his way, Thomas Wayne handed Flash a letter that was for his son from our universe. So Bad Dad, before getting wiped from existence, wrote a letter for our reality's Batman, aka his son in a different reality. And then the Flash went on his way, and supposedly the entire Flashpoint reality with Batdaddy in it got wiped from existence. Except that wasn't quite the end of it. When Flash returned to our reality. I mean, I keep saying our reality, but that is not really. I mean, you know, I what I mean is in the reality that we know as the in the comic books story. Okay, so when the Flash returned to our reality, he went to Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, and he say, "Hey, uh, I don't know how to tell you this, but here's a letter from your dad." And this has the Batman all confused. The Batman like, huh? My dad died. Barry. That's Flash's real name. No. So I'm imagining, I'm trying to put myself in Bruce Wayne, Batman mentality. And he probably went on, Barry, you know my father died when I was very young. This is not very funny. And the Flash is like, no, you don't understand. Like, I met your dad, and he was Batman in his reality. Anyway, this is kind of hard to explain. I'll tell you the story another day. Maybe you should just read the letter now. Batman sat down and started reading the letter from his dad, the dad that he never got to meet, from a different reality. Now, as I mentioned, I never read the comic. Uh, so I did a lot of research and pieced together what probably was said in the letter from Batdaddy to Batman. And I'm going to give you my best approximation here. Dear Bruce, you know me, but you don't know me. This is your father. Yes, I know. I'm supposed to be dead, but that is in your world. In my world, I am alive and you were dead. I understand this may come as quite a bit of a shock and may be very confusing. You can ask the Flash for more information, but I don't have a lot of time left. The Flash is getting ready to restore the timeline, which means me and my world will be wiped from existence very soon. So I guess, son, this is hello and this is goodbye. But before I go, I want to tell you, stop what you're doing. Stop being the Batman. Being a Batman is a lonely and very dangerous career. Find a woman that you love, marry her, be happy, and stop being the Batman. Yours truly, Batman, your father. Now, I understand it's a very touching gesture and probably was all from a good intention and all that stuff. But just imagine, just put yourself in Bruce Wayne's head for a second. If today suddenly a friend showed up at your door, hand you a letter that's supposedly written by a relative that you thought were dead long ago, And this letter says, "Oh, by the way, this is a letter from the alternate reality. And yeah, stop doing what you're doing. Just go live a happy life and forget about everything that you've been doing because it's too dangerous. And I'm telling you to stop because I love you." Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Like I said, Batman's supposed to be very smart. Batdaddy is supposed to be very smart, but they still make the most human error, which is telling your children what to do when your children, as adults, very accomplished and very stubborn, and yeah, that's just never going to work. So Bruce Wayne put the letter away like a very sentimental guy and went on to being Batman uh, every day, like what he's been doing for the last 10, 20 years. What most people didn't know was Thomas Wayne didn't get wiped from existence. Another supervillain went to that reality just as that reality was being wiped from existence and plucked Batdaddy out of that fading reality and plopped him into our reality just to mess with our Batman. Well, I'm pretty sure the initial discovery when Thomas Wayne found that he's actually alive, that was woo, big relief. Thought I was dead, thought I was totally dead, but not sure what happened. Where am I? And then he found out, well, I am in the main universe. I'm in the real timeline. Oh, great! That means I can go meet my son. So, yeah, relief at first, and happy, really, really happy. And then he went and tracked down Batman, his son, aka Bruce Wayne. Now, this reunion should have been very happy, but I imagine this would be very awkward because here is Batman working away on his Bat computer in his Batcave, and then this dude who looks just like another Batman shows up. And I don't know if Batdaddy did the Darth Vader thing, "Luke, I am your father" thing to Bruce, but I imagine it was something a little bit like that. That Bruce would be, "Who the hell are you?" And Thomas would be, "I am your dad." Then it probably deteriorated into something, "Well, I thought you were dead." "Well, I'm not. By the way, boy, I thought I told you in the letter to stop being Batman. I specifically told you to stop doing this thing. This is my only, my only ever request, practically my dying wish for you to stop doing this Batman business. And why didn't you listen to me?" And I imagine Bruce's answer would be somewhere along the line with, "You can tell me what to do. You're not my father." And Thomas would be, "Yes, I'm totally your father." "No, you're not. You're my father from a different timeline. That doesn't count." "Yes, it does." "No, it doesn't." And the two of them started fighting. After his failed attempt at beating some sense into his very unreasonable son, like that was ever going to work, uh, Thomas Wayne did something really weird. He decided that he was going to go out there and join forces with some of Batman's worst enemies, and he was going to help them make Batman's life a living hell so Bruce would come to his senses and stop being Batman. Okay, that is literally one of the worst father logic I ever heard. But anyway, it's comic book. What can I say? So yeah, that's what he did. And in the end, Batman defeated Batdaddy in a dramatic showdown and got him thrown in jail. And that's the last any of us has really heard of him. Is Batdaddy is now cooling in a jail cell, uh, trying to figure out a way to get out and convince his son to stop being the Batman. Well, let's look at the figure itself. This figure was made by Todd McFarlane, one of my favorite toy maker for a long time. Now, McFarlane is very controversial, so I understand if some people really don't think much of him. Uh, the guy is a bit of a character sometimes. But anyway, he acquired the DC Universe licenses and started cranking out a lot of Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman. Oh, especially Batman. He made so many Batman that it's tiring. Now, ordinarily, I would not get this Batman because honestly, I think most of you would agree. He just looked like Batman. He just looked like another Batman. There's nothing overly different about him. I mean, yeah, okay, the shoulder shape is a little bit different on his cape. You know, he has a upturning flare on his cape on the shoulder that make him look a little bit more edgy. And he seemed to have a like general design that he's a little bit more scruffy and he's a little bit more violent looking. And yeah, okay, he's wearing a pair of guns. That's different. Batman never used guns, so that shows us this is a different character. But overall, he just looks like a Batman. He just looks like a Batman with guns. So ordinarily, I would not waste money on this figure because honestly, I've been collecting Batman for a long time. Like Batman was the first superhero I fell in love with as a child, and when I was a teenager, I bought any Batman action figure that was available. I had a massive Batman action figure collection. And after I sold that, I still like Batman, so I have quite, I've always had a pretty healthy chunk of Batman related action figure uh, real estate, you can say. So another figure that just looked like a Batman wouldn't have appealed to me if not for that rather sad, kind of tragic, very dramatic story of a bad daddy from alternate reality who's trying to communicate to his son, look, I know you like being Batman and all, but it's really dangerous. I wish you would stop. Yeah, okay. So in this case, it's purely a case of the story sold the action figure. The action figure itself, yeah, it's just another Batman. But the story totally made me say, okay, I totally want a Bat Daddy in my collection. With that said, he is really well made. Now, he's from the earlier days of McFarlane making DC action figure. So some of the joints are kind of ugly. The wrist joint in particular look like they're disjointed, and his elbows and his knees look like they're a little bit too scrawny for a beefy guy like this. But overall, I will say one thing that really impressed me about McFarlane is he's making really big figures. These guys are 7 inches tall, so they're bigger than most of the 6 inches action figures out there. And Todd McFarlane is keeping the price down, really reasonable. This guy only sold for $20, and that is almost unheard of in today's action figure market. You go out there and get Marvel and G.I. Joe and Power Rangers. They're like $30 and they're smaller than this. So you you are getting a good size figure for your money and it's really well sculpted. Even the bat symbol on his chest plate is sculpted rather than just painted. Like I said, I've collected Batman for a long time. I've seen Batman action figure made by DC Direct. I've seen Batman action figure made by Kenner, and I've seen Batman figure made by Mattel. Actually, one was shown earlier when we had the father and son conversation. That was a Batman made by Mattel, and you can, if you go back to that uh, part, you can see how Mattel's Batman just looks so small and stingy comparing to this one. So yeah, size-wise, price-wise, sculptural-wise, it's great. Where this action figure kind of falls short is the articulation. They don't work very good. As you have seen throughout the video, I try to get him into different poses, but it's all in the upper body. His legs, while the articulation joints are there, they can't really do much. Part of the reason is because his cape. His cape is a rubber material, so it kind of will restrain him. He's not able to get into really deep crouches or stuff like that because the cape is in the way. But more so than that, he can't kick his leg forward without looking weird. His side joint is made in a really weird way. Let me see if I can replicate that for you guys on camera. And oh no, look at this. Bad Daddy got a broken leg. Yeah, so this is what happens when you try to move his leg forward, like you try to get him to kick or anything, leg falls off. Yeah. Luckily, it's not actually broken. It pops off the peg that is attached to. So with a bit of finicking, I can actually get it back on the figure. A bit of finicking turned out to be more like half an hour of cussing and swearing and a lot of force. I mean, getting that leg back on this figure was very stressful. So yeah, we're not going to try that again. So conclusion: Bad Daddy can't kick forward because when he does, like some old people, his leg falls off. Anyway, but he does come with a little display stand. He does come with a trading card, and he comes with his twin pistols, which he can use to kill criminals with. Now, these pistols' inclusion with the character would turn out to be something of some momentous thing that a lot of us will look back with fondness because uh, due to some weird policy that Warner Bros. Put on DC Comics, now DC Comic action figures are not allowed to come with firearms. So yeah, no more guns for your action figures from DC. So the fact that this Batman comes with a pair of pistols is something to be treasured. Now he is not the only alternate reality Batman that uses gun. We'll probably look at another even worse, even more scary gun wielding Batman in the future. But for now, Bad Daddy get our Father of the Year, uh, and I'm happy that I get to feature him on today's episode. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. I'll be back in a little bit for Fitness Friday. For now, enjoy the rest of your afternoon.